During what you've observed in this particular generation, how do you think, or how do you feel rather, this generation is handling the issue of addiction?
Addiction is not only about what I was telling about the neurotransmitters or the brain. It's basically a multifactorial. Maybe one reason being the more exposure and the exploring new things in general.
So at the end of the day, it's all about choices.
Yes, it's all about choices. 30% of cancers are attributed to the different addictive substances, the tobacco, which contributes to the 80% of the lung cancer. They themselves hold them more responsible.
Welcome to another episode of Meet the Leader. And today we have joining us Dr. Rashmi K, Associate Professor at the Department of Physiology, Kasturba Medical College, Mangalore, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal. Ma'am, you have a specialization specifically when it comes to addiction research, but could you kind of give us an overview of what your research is about and how it basically functions?
It's all started in the year of 2016 when we got a grant on addiction research from Neurobiology Task Force, Department of Biotechnology, India. So basically here we wanted to look the components of reward centers in alcohol addiction. The components being ventral tegmental area, nucleus accumbens, basolateral amygdala, which is mainly involved with the emotions. So what we wanted to see here is the effect of different neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, one being orexin. So in a course of research, what we have found out is the orexin being an important aspect of our food intake and food preference, as well as in food addiction. We just extended our study in alcohol addiction, and we have seen a significant improvement in alcohol de-addiction, alcohol preference with the infusion or injection of orexin B, and it's all started with the animal models.
Now, since we're on the topic of addiction, considering what you've observed in this particular generation, how do you think, or how do you feel rather, this generation is handling the issue of addiction?
Yeah, so when we say addiction, it's not only about what I was telling about the neurotransmitters or the brain. It's basically a multifactorial, which includes the changes in the brain as well as the environment and how you have, in what environment you are with, and that is what it matters. So when we said why the present generation more into the addiction, maybe one reason being the more exposure and the exploring new things in general. And you were also mentioning about something called habits. Yes, you told me it's more of willpower than the brain. Yeah, it is true, because when we say reward center, maybe it is for the food, it could be for the alcohol, or it may be for any of the recreational activities. So you compare a student who is has a very good day-to-day life, a good habit, who gets up in the morning, does a course of meditation, or have a very good reading habits, and he has some hobbies like reading books or the music. The habits are completely different, which is obviously going to stimulate his reward center. On the other hand, another student who will be doing what? He goes and he stimulates his brain taking alcohols or drugs. So it's all what is your willpower and how you are going to stimulate your reward center.
So at the end of the day, it's all about choices.
Yes, it's all about choices.
All right. So how can insights from neuroscience, particularly in the areas of addiction research, contribute to developing better treatments for cancer now?
Yeah, and if you see globally, 30% of cancers are attributed to the different addictive substances, and one of them is the tobacco, which contributes to the 80% of the lung cancer. So when we say like if you stop addiction, you will stop cancer. No. So what happens is it is like if the person is into substance abuse, so by de-addicting that person or de-addicting the population may help in a better cancer cure. So it's like a holistic approach, I would rather say.
Yeah, so I guess in essence what you're trying to say is there's an interconnectedness in all of
Yes,
these
that
things.
is what it is.
Well, I guess that kind of like answers quite a lot of questions. And of course, here at Parul University, we do have a lot of programs set up against addiction. Actually, right across the hall, we have our psychiatrists there as well. So we do have a strong basis, essentially, fighting against addiction. But at the same time, we are still looking towards suggestions. And since you're an expert in this particular field, especially when it comes to addiction, what advice would you give us as a university?
Okay, so this is a common menace. If you take up every university, there's a good and bad. So the most challenging thing what we face across universities like addiction. So what we can do is one thing is like you involve them as the different extracurricular things, the recreational activities. I obviously believe that university gives that opportunity, and you involve in the community-based services. One of them being the what we do is like we have something called Nasha Mukt Club in our university, which is being sponsored and funded by Ministry of Health. So across the colleges, across the university, when the students come, what we do is we have a work-taking programs with the students themselves as a part of this Nasha Mukt Club, and we have outreach activities. We go to the communities, we take the students. They conduct de-addiction awareness camps. So when they themselves are involved in such activities, obviously themselves hold them more responsible.
So thank you for the knowledge you've shared. I think we will be taking up some of your advice and applying it where we are in order to further advance ourselves. So thank you very much for being with us today, and we hope to see you more in the future.
Glad to be here in the Parul University. Truly, it's an embodiment of cultural heritage of India, being innovative as well as the academic center. Thank you.
Thank you very much.